10 South African Rand or just over 50 US cents for a cup of coffee. In 2016, two South African entrepreneurs launched Xpresso Café, a takeaway coffee chain with a simple concept. Everything on the menu costs just 10 South African Rand. Today, Xpresso has expanded to 65 stores across South Africa, selling over 50,000 cups of coffee daily. While the price has since increased to 14 Rand per item, it remains significantly cheaper than most other coffee chains. I'm Jaco Maritz, founder of How We Made It in Africa, coming to you from the country of Georgia with the magnificent Caucasus Mountains behind me. I recently interviewed Xpresso co-founder Nicoline El-Haddad to find out more about the thinking behind selling coffee at such rock-bottom prices. Let's listen to a clip from the interview. To listen to the entire interview, click the link in the description. How We Made It in Africa's full, in-depth interviews with entrepreneurs and investors in Africa are only available on our website. And to access all our interviews since 2010 and support our work, I also encourage you to become a How We Made It in Africa member. Our YouTube audience gets a 15% discount. Check the description below for the discount code and the sign-up link. Please also hit the subscribe button below to never miss a video. Okay, enough with that. Let's watch the clip.
So, how did you first come up with the idea for this business?
Well, Yaki, thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to share our story. So, my husband and I, about 10 years ago, we were sitting in a coffee shop and we enjoy going out ourselves, having coffee. And we noticed that the coffee shops were not attracting everyone. And it's because not everyone can afford everything that they have available. And I found that quite sad because for me, coffee is something that you should be able to enjoy every day. Or, if your favorite thing is a chai latte or a cup of tea, it shouldn't be something that you spoil yourself with once a week. And
Yeah.
we actually just sat there and said, I wish we could come up with an idea to make this more affordable. So it took us about 2 years to really plan and strategize how we would come up with the right pricing, also to make it simple and easy. We wanted it to be like no-brainer concept for people to just take out their money and buy something. But the vision that we had was for an entire family to come in, and with 100 Rand, 5 people can each get two things, which was unheard of. And we wanted people to be able to come back every day. And I think for any small business, if you could have a product that you can sell or a service that requires people to come back all the time, that's like a winning formula, which is not always easy to find. But yeah, so it took us 2 years to come up with the strategy. And we actually had a bit of an argument about the price because my husband said, no, it has to be 10. He can see the green note. He wants people just to hand it over. And I was thinking, I think it's so cheap. Is it going to work? But yeah, we stuck to the 10 Rand and it worked really well.
In your original business plan, how many coffees, for example, did one store had to sell to, I don't know, break even, for instance?
We didn't really just work because everything was priced the same way. We didn't really work on like a specific target. To be very honest, we're very clear about this. My husband and I, when we started our coffee shop, there was a few things we didn't do. We didn't tell anybody that we were starting this business. And the reason for that is, and small business owners know this, that usually their family or their friends or the public, they're not always that supportive when you start something that's very different from your normal environment. And we didn't have any experience in coffee or in baking. And we've never worked with the public directly. So we just decided when we came up with the idea, we're not going to tell anyone. So no one in our family knew. And actually, the night before we opened our first store in Durbanville, we started a Facebook page because 8 years ago, Jaco, you might remember, you had to get like 50 people to like your business page to secure the name. So we actually messaged everybody we knew, but outside of South Africa, just to like our Facebook page so that we can secure the name because we're opening tomorrow. But we honestly didn't have a specific business plan. We were just focusing on making sure that the business can work and live from the till, which means that whatever we sell needs to be able to cover our daily expenses. And in the beginning, we didn't know how many staff we would need. We were not sure if we were going to make it or not. I even said to my husband the night before we opened, I looked at him and I said, I don't think this is going to work. No one's going to come. And he was just laughing at me. He says, you and I go every day and we buy a coffee for 30, 35, 40 Rand. And he says, people will come. It's 10 Rand. They will come. So, and they did, but it's just, I think for us, it was more about just getting the word out as fast and as much as we possibly could. and to actually give it like a chance. Like we were planning on giving it at least 3 to 6 months and then look at the overall numbers. Today, yes, our stores sell over 50,000 cups of coffee, just on the coffee itself a day, but that's because we have 65 stores. But in the beginning, we were not sure, will people come for the coffee or will they actually come for the pastries? Because we had a lot of controversy with people not believing that it would be 10 Rand. And yeah, so we had a lot of different struggles, I think, that people with regular stores would have, because I had to focus more on convincing people that it is 10 Rand and it's good. So just come and take a look for yourself.
And so that first store in Durbanville outside Cape Town, can you talk a bit about that? And how did you initially get people to come in? Because, like, even if it's with good pricing, I mean, branding and things like this still matter, and people don't just go to like any store.
Yes.
So how did you convince people to come?
Yeah. So when we were actually looking for a location, so we finished our business model and we were looking through property agents to help us find a rental space. And for about 4 months, we couldn't find a space. And then in 1 week, they gave us 4 options. And my husband always says, like, it's Murphy's Law. He always thinks everything in our life always happens all at once. So we actually chose Durbanville specifically because we lived close to it. So it was just going to be easy for us to see how this business model would work. But like I said, we didn't advertise it at all. So nobody knew that this was coming. When we opened the doors on the first day, we still do this today. We call it like a soft launch. So we just soft open the store. We don't tell people that we're opening, and it's actually an opportunity for the team to run through all the equipment. We bake stuff. We make the coffee. We make sure everything actually works. And then through that, it's surprising output, but people do walk in, which is really strange. Like, I don't think I'm one of those people that will just peek into a new store, but people did. And when they came in, they would actually ask. And then it was for like months. I remember having to repeat ourselves 100 times when people say, how much is it? Really? Is it just 10 Rand? And then the word really just spread dramatically fast. Like, we did not use our social media in the beginning. We didn't have to tell people what to say. The community really had a massive impact. We also had, I think, about after a month, we were on about 3 TV stations. We were on the radio. Like, people were contacting us through the customers that were obviously contacting or telling people about this new store. I know a lot of people would post a picture on social media and say, you won't believe it. Come and take a look. There's this 10 Rand store and the stuff is really nice. And so that was really nice of the community to do. And I know that doesn't always happen for companies. But today, obviously, we have a huge marketing team that makes sure that our business runs and that it gets promoted. But we also don't, we don't focus too much on it. Like, I feel like the business will go the way it needs to go. And as long as you can get your customers to come back, you really have a good system. I don't always believe that you need to look for more customers every day. Just keep the ones that you have happy, because they say 75% of your customers, if you can keep them coming back, your business will stay, consistently and strong. So that was our main focus, is just to keep everybody happy.